All right, Shalom Aleichem Rabbi side. This is the week of Reeh. Next week is Rosh Chodesh Elul. That means this Shabbos we are going to bench Rosh Chodesh Elul, which starts Monday night. Next week, well, not this week. Next week, Tuesday and Wednesday is Rosh Chodesh Elul. So very early this year, but now we're having a leap year next year, so it'll be 1 month later. Instead of the 8th day of, or the 9th day of August, it'll be the 9th day of September next year, Chodesh Elul. Let's talk about our Parsha of Reeh. Reeh has 55 mitzvahs, a lot of mitzvahs. Let's go to Shlishi. Shlishi happens to be today, Tuesday. So if you go and call Haloshon, you can listen to Shir for Shlishi today. And Monday, Sheni, and Sunday is Rishon. We have on Kol Haloshon about 1,545 shiurim, and the Torah anytime about 140, 130. So let's take a look at Shlishi of Reeh. Right before Shlishi it says a very interesting thing. Shomar, watch, that you don't forget. That means chazara, veshomato, and listen and accept. It's called Advar Me'ela, all these things, Asher Anochi Mesabekka, that I'm commanding you. Aman Yitav Locha, in order that is good for you. Ulevanecha Acharecha, your children after you. Vanecha with a yud, that means sons and daughters. Ad Olam, forever, this world and the next. Kisasa, if you do, Hatov, what is good, V'Hayashar, what is straight. The Ein Hashem Lekech, in the eyes of God your God. So here we have the word Hatov HaYashar. What does Tov mean? What is Yashar? The Sefer Devarim is called Sefer HaYisharim. Sefer HaYashar. Bereshis is called Sefer HaYisharim because the Bilam said he wanted to die the death of the Yisharim. Yisharim means those great people, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. The last letter of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Abraham, Mem, Yitzchak, Kuf, Yaakov, Beis, 142. That's the gematria of Bilam, Beis, Lamed Ayin Mem, 142. He wanted to die the death of Yisharim. So Beis Sefer Bereshis is called Sefer Yisharim. You can't live like a murderer and a Rasha and die like a tzaddik. You live like a Rasha, you die like a Rasha. So he got chopped up in pieces, Bilam, by Pinchas. So Sefer Devarim is called Sefer HaYashar because it says here Tov HaYashar. So the question is, why don't you call it Sefer HaTov? Why HaYashar? Devarim is called Mishnah Torah, we know that, and Sefer HaYashar because it says HaTov HaYashar. Why shouldn't it be called Sefer HaTov? So we have to define what is Tov, what is Yashar. Tov means good, and Yashar means straight. So you can call it Sefer HaTov. And by the way, why is Bereshis called Sefer HaYisharim? Why not Sefer HaTzadikim? Sefer HaChasidim? Sefer HaAvos? Why is it called Sefer HaYisharim? Because Avram was ridiculed and mocked by his friends. And he didn't mock him back or take revenge. He was Yashar. Yitzchak got his wells filled up by Avimelech. He didn't take revenge. He was called Yashar. Yaakov Avinu was cheated by his father-in-law, the grandfather of the Jewish people, for 20 years. He didn't take revenge. He was Yashar. You play the game straight. Thank you. You play the game straight. God will take care of the rest. So this Sefer is called, that's why they call it Yisharim, the Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. That's Bereshis. This Sefer is called Sefer HaYashar, so why don't you call it Sefer HaTov? The Chazal tell us Tov means Bein Odom LaMokom. You do your Tov, what's right. You don't have to do more or less. You can't do less. You shouldn't do less. You shouldn't have to do more either. Yashar is Mishuras Hadin, between you and God. Yashar is the mitzvahs bein Adam lechaveiro. You have to go lifnim mishuras hadin. Let me explain it to you. If Hashem tells you have to keep Shabbos, so you can stop working Friday afternoon at Chatzos, long as you stop at Shkia, you show Shabbos. Hashem, that's good. You want to do more, fine, but you're not mechuyev. Hashem tells you to buy a kosher esrog, so you buy a $30 esrog, $40 kosher. You don't have to spend $140. If you spend 140, it's more beautiful, but the $40 may also be kosher. It says you have to put on tefillin. You don't have to put on Rabbi Thomas tefillin. You got to put on Rashi at least. You have to go and buy in Nissan matzahs. You can have machine matzahs for $6.95 a box. You don't have to spend $35 a pound for 8 matzahs. The others are 100% kosher, and they are good, not chametz. They're made lishma. So it goes. You can you go to daven with a minyan every day. You want to be from the Asara Rishonim. That's more, but it's not requested. It's wonderful. It shows you're a Madrega person, but you're not mechuyev to do more than the minimum to be a Torah Jew. That's called Tov. Tov. Shura Sadin. You want to do more? That's up to you. Yashar ben Adam l'chaveiro. There, sometimes you do the right thing, but they don't see it the right way. You have to go lifnim b'shura sadin if it pertains Adam l'chaveiro. You have to go out of your way to prove that you're not dishonest, because maybe somebody will be choshed you. Therefore, you do things that there's no suffix in your conduct. There, you're mechuyev to go lifnim b'shura sadin. That's been Adam l'chaveiro. Between you and Hashem, He knows if you're from Jew. You don't got to prove anything to Him. Of course, if you buy $140 esrog and you're one of the Sorah Rishonim and you can't make Shabbos hours before, you stop yourself from doing malachas hours before Shabbos, you're going to hire much higher madrega. That's up to you. But between Adam and Chaveru, you're mechuyev to go lifnim b'shur sadin. If there's any suffix, that's why when you're collecting money, a lot of money, big monies, you go 2 people at a time. The one shouldn't be you shouldn't be choshed him. There's 2 people, and so it is when you go in a place where there's sakana for your spiritual life. You go 2 people together, so you should watch each other. Bein adam lechaveiro, you better have to have eidim. You don't have to have eidim when you put on film and buy an esrog, but you have to have eidim when you do something, sign a document. You have to have eidim. Got to be, and have a right star and eidim have to be lifnim b'shura sadin. Between 2 decent people, what do you need to aid them for? What do you need to start? Shake hands. That's correct, because but the other person may one day get some crazy idea that'll deny the whole thing. You got aid him and you have a star. That's the film sure sadin. You're not mechuyev. Just 2 people decent people can agree. You don't need any aid. But if it's a lot of money, I advise you to get aid him and a star, because the film sure sadin to sure that you don't run into trouble. So here you have the word Valsisa. You should do. Now we took care of that definition. Why is one before the other? Don't we have an idea? Achron chaviv. The last thing is more important. So hayashar, how God thinks, how you treat your friend. Hashem is very, very much worried about that. That comes afterwards. Achron chaviv. That's most important. How you treat another man, not how you treat him. Achron chaviv, right? So if achron is so important, if something Chabib should be Akram, so why don't you call the Kohen last? Why you call him first to the Torah? Aha! Why don't you make the bris and the pidyon abed at the end of the day? When Hashem told Avram to take his son and make the Akedah, why did he get him so early in the morning? Why don't you do it later in the day? What's the idea that Achron Chaviv? We see that the bris is the first thing, and the Shabbos you brought early is moment. You don't wait to say Tzachacham. You do it already at Shkia. You see that when you honor people, it's always at the end. The president comes at the end of the whole parade, right? Human beings were made at the end on Friday morning when Hashem made all the light and the day and the night and the heavens and the fish and the insects and the birds and the animals and the eagles and the tigers. Then He made man at the end. When it comes to mankind, we honor man, or Hashem honors man. He's always at the end. The reason is why He made Adam at the end, because the whole world was made for you, for man. If you're good, Hashem says, look, you're the guest of honor, you come at the end like the president, at the end of the whole parade. If you're good, you're the guest of honor, everything was made for you. If you're no good, then yitosh kodmecha, a flea came before you, you're worthless. That's why man is at the end. However, when you honor HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like he said, honor the Kohen, you definitely call him up first. You make the bris the first thing in the morning, if you can. You do every mitzvah the first moment you can. You do it first, everything first. And one person honors another person, then you call him at the end because God ordered man to be created at the end, Friday morning. And he spent hundreds of years in Gan Eden. And that took until Friday afternoon when he was thrown out of Gan Eden at Shkia, 6 o'clock. That whole story there, but Chaim was born, and Chaim was created and born, and he killed Hevel. That all took 6 to 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening, 12 hours, the whole thing, hundreds of years. That's part of the Shesi Meiberacious. We don't know what time was in those days. Every day could have been 1,000,000 years. So you see that he got thrown out of Gan Eden a Friday afternoon before Shkia, and he already had children, and one kills the other one. So time we don't know anything about. Anyhow, not the first 6 days. We know nothing. Could have been millions and billions of years. Because when you have a diamond is carbon. It takes billions of years for the carbon to crystallize, and otherwise you don't get pure carbon. Coal is also pure carbon, but it's black. That takes only, who knows, 1,000,000 years, billion. And the diamond takes 15 billion years to crystallize, the half-life of carbon. So, anyhow, the first 6 days took, who knows, 15 billion years maybe. Anyhow, let's get back to the subject. So you see that here in the parasha, it says, Asisa Tova Yosha. What's afterwards, you have to go Lifnim Mishur Sedin. That's why the Sefer is called Sefer HaYosha. There's only one problem. A little bit earlier, in the Veschanan, it says, the same pasuk, there says, Vasisa HaYosha V'Hatov. They switch it. Now, how do you answer that? Vav Yud Ches. Go back, Vav Yud Ches. Vav in Veschanan. Yud Ches. Now what do you say? Look what it says. Vasisa HaYosha V'Hatov. And here it says Hatov HaYosha. Now what do we say? So we want to say this. Over there in Veschanan, Yosha comes first. To be straight between you and your friend, that's number one. Here Yosha comes second. To be straight between you and your friend, that's Iker. It's number one, and it's the most chaviv. Hashem wants you, that's why the Sefer is called Sefer Yosha, not Sefer Hatov. The main thing he's interested in is that you are honest between man and man. Keeping Shabbos and doing all that is very nice. That's not Iker. Iker is how do you treat your fellow man. When you get to Shemaim, they ask you first 6 questions. The first 3 questions. First one was, were you a crook? Nososo benasato be'emuno. Did you buy and sell, give and take, deal with people honestly? Was your yes a yes or no a no? Were you honest? First question. Before they ask you about you had a relation with a Nida or a Shabbos, or ate Chalev or Dam, or did Kores, or Mechal Shabbos and everything, or worship of Zor, nothing. Were you a gangster, crook, thief, cheat? Yes, even with your $400 suit. Were you a ganav, a thief, a cheat, a liar in business? That's what bothers him. Number 2, they ask you, Kovei itim la Torah? Did you spend time every day learning Torah? Set times. And number 3, so piece of Yeshua, did you wait for Mashiach? Really interested in Mashiach? Really? So what do you do with your 3 homes and your fancy cars and your boat? Really want Mashiach to come, or you don't? Not really so happy about that. They ask you 3 questions. So Hashem is interested mostly between you and your friend. If the Perkei Avos says that people like you, Hashem likes you. If people don't like you, He doesn't like you. It all depends how you treat other people. The main creed of Yahadus is Ben Adam Lechaver. Yom Kippur is only between Adam and Chaver, by the way, not between you and Hashem. That you can do any day of the year, Tshuva. But Ben Adam Lechaver, that's Yom Kippur. The main thing is to be honest and sincere and straight. A word is a word. A time is a time. A yes is a yes, and a no is a no. Now let us learn Shlishi. Ki yachris Hashem Elokecha Zagoyim, when God will destroy those nations in Eretz Canaan, Asher Tov Hashem Elokecha L'Reshes of where you are coming to dispossess them, to drive them out. The Panecha in front of you, Rashto, some you will inherit their land. You Shafta Ba'achom, you live in their land country. Yishomelcho, watch yourself, Pen, Tinokesh, lest you get ensnared. Achareichem, after them, well, how can you? You wipe them all out. No, not after, sure, after you wipe them out. You're not interested in the people. You want to investigate their culture and their religion. Yishomelcho, watch yourself, because it's very attractive, their religion. Pen, Tinokesh, lest you get impressed or ensnared. Achareim, after them. Achrei Hishmad, Shamdom, even after they were destroyed in front of you. Pentidrosh Elohim, unless you investigate their gods, their religion. Leimar Eicha, you say to yourself in your mind, Eicha Yavdo Goyim Haila, how did these Goyim serve their gods? Es Elohim, their gods. Es Achain Gam Ani, I want to do the same thing. Lo Sasa came Lashem Elikach, don't do this. Don't do this to go investigate other religions. Yichol Tov As Hashem, Asher Sonei, every abominable thing that God hates, Osur Elohim, they did to their gods. Know how far it went? Kigam as B'neihem, even the parents took their children, as B'noseim, the sons and their daughters, Yisrafu Bo'esh, they burnt them in fire, Leiloheihem, to their gods. That's how depraved they were. It's called the avodah. That's called the avodah of Molech. They burnt their children, or they jumped over a fire with their children, or they walked between two fires with their children. It's called Hadovar Shanochi Matzave Esgam Hayom. Everything that I command you today, Tishmru, watch Lasos to do it. Lo so safe Allah, don't add to it. Lo sigre mig manu, don't subtract from it. We don't need extra holidays, we don't need extra prayers, and we don't need any less or more, nothing. We don't need a Yom HaShoah. We have one. It's called Tisha B'Av. We don't need a Yom HaAtzmaut, the day of freedom, independence. We have one. We're independent from the whole world. It's called Simchas Torah. You're dancing with the Torah. That means you're very, very happy to be independent and not follow the culture of the Gentiles. But if you have Yom Ha'atzmaut, the day of independence, is it from God or independence from your neighbors? So why is the Jewish state not run according to the Torah? Why does it not follow the Torah? How come the leaders are not Shomer Torah mitzvahs? Shomer Torah mitzvahs? They have their own idea about, they want a democratic state. Democracy is fabulous for Goyim. Israel is a different kind of government. And they're afraid of that over there because the Haredim are getting stronger and stronger, and eventually they know they will take over. Because when Ben Gurion was prime minister, they had 4, 5, 6 religious. Now we got 48. It's going to be like that. And so Mashiach comes, of course, it'll be a different order altogether. No democracy, no free speech, no free press. One man called a monarchy, run not a Knesset, run by based on a theocracy. And one mistake he makes, he's removed by Sanhedrin, and no abortions, and no what's that where they call that tricky word, pro-life and pro-choice. Pro-choice means murder. Goyim are usher to do that. It says right at the beginning of the Torah. Shochet yad, what's it? Shochet yad ha'odam be'odam. Inside of a person, if you make an abortion prenatal, you're a murderer. Abortion is also for all human beings. All kind of there's no such thing as free choice. It's only pro-life, and nothing of the deviant types will be tolerated. It's going to be a world order under Mashiach. All men will love each other, pursue holiness, not immorality. A new world order is coming. You see, it's coming. Okay, let's just take a look now. You got 55 sedras, 55 mitzvahs. So every 3 pesuk is another mitzvah. Now we talk about a Navi Sheker. Ki yokum v'kibach Navi, if there will come up amongst you a Navi, a prophet, O cholim chalom, a dreamer of dreams, v'nosa elecha os, he gives you a sign, something's going to happen, O mo-face, a wonder, O bo ha'os, and the sign comes true, v'ham mo-face, and the wonder, asher divrei elecha, that he spoke to you, leimar, saying, let's go after other gods, other religions, the culture of the world. Asher lo yidatam, but that you never knew about before. Then let us serve other religions, other forces, other cultures, others' value system. Lo sishmaz divrei navi, who don't listen to that navi. Oh, acholim, who that dreamer, this philosopher. It's a test. Ki midnasa Hashem lekechem, as God is testing you. Ladas to know Ayishcham Oavim. Do you love us Hashem lekechem? B'chol levavichem, with all your intellect, b'chol nafshim, with all your emotions. Ashri Hashem lekechem teilecha, only follow God. But also see ra'u, and fear only Him. As mitzvos of His mitzvos you shall watch. That means learn Chamishuchim Shetorah. But kolo tishma, listen to His voice. That's called learning navi. But also tavodu, and only serve Him. That means karbanos. Bo tidbakim, cleave to Him. That is gemilas chasodim. But navi ahu, that navi, that prophet. That dreamer of a new idea. You will be put to death. Either you kill him or I kill him. He will die. He spoke negatively against God. Who took you out from Egypt. Who redeemed you from the house of slaves. He wants to push you away from the way. The God commanded you. And to go in that derech, God told you to go that derech. Get rid of that evil amongst you. So the Navi Sheker has to be executed in public, first day Chalamot Sukkot. So man says to his wife, I'm going to Yerushalayim for Sukkot, be Ola Regel. Besides, there's going to be a public execution. I don't know how many times that ever happened. But let me tell you something that'll blow you off your seat. Hold on to your seat. Ki Yaakov b'kirbacha, if it gets up amongst you, Navi, a prophet, O Choleim Chalom, a dreamer, says the Baal Torah 700-800 years ago, Ki Yaakov, he gets up, Bekir B'cha, amongst you. Bekir B'cha is Gematria 324. And you know what else is 324? Zeh ha'isha, that's the woman. 324. Next word, Navi. Navi is 63. U B'na, her son. That's called 63. Everybody knows what we're talking about. The mother and Yeshu. Balaturim. Isn't that unbelievable? Built into the Torah. Ki Yaakov b'kir Navi, Bekir b'cha Zeh ha'isha. That's Mary. Navi Zebinah, that's her son. Balaturim. 700 years ago. Pretty interesting, huh? Then it says something that'll blow your mind. You want to know what else it says about that Vada Yeshu? Yud Ches, Yud Tes. I want to show you something. His name. Yud Ches. You wouldn't believe this. Yud Ches, Yud Tes. In Shoftim. It says right here, V'hoya ha'ish. You talk about the same subject next week. V'hoya ha'ish, the man, asher lo yishom, yishma, that does not listen. El divra vorai, to my words. Asher yadaber b'shmi, that's spoken in my name. Anochi edrish mimena, I will take it out on him. You know the last letters of Anochi edrosh mi imo? Yud, Shin, Vav. That's Yeshu. Anochi, Pasuk Yotes. Yud Ches Yotes. I mean, chapter Yud Ches, Pasuk Yotes. Anochi, I, Edrosh, will get it from him. Mimo, but they killed him with a horrible death with nails. Yud Shin Vav, Yeshu, that's him. 3:16. All right, let's go further. So, God is testing you. Then the word Cholem, a dreamer. There will come a dreamer, later Jewish period that happened in 1898. There was a man, a dreamer. He wrote a book, Das Judenstadt, the Jewish state. He was a tall, handsome fellow with a long black beard, black hair, no yarmulke, long big man. His name was Herzl. He was definitely wanted to do something to save the Jewish people. He was an Austrian journalist. He went to the Pope and to the Russian and the Prussian and told them we have to have a Jewish state. And they all say no, no, no. Within 30 years, all of them said yes, yes, yes. They were overthrown. The German Empire, the Prussian Empire, the Ottoman Empire. They all got overthrown and he had a state. So when he died in 1898, he said, In 5 years you will have a state. But if not, vadai 50 years. 1898 to 1948 when they started the state. How many years is that? 50. Look what it says in the Torah about that. A dreamer, and by the way, the word chalom comes out to 162. And twice, double 162 is 321. That's Herzl. Hey, Reish, Tzadi, Lamed. 324. He wanted to do something good for Jews. Yes, good person. A bad Jew. You know why he was a very bad Jew? Because at the conference of the Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, 1898, he said, well, I suggest we go to Uganda. They said no. Theodore, Teddy, that's too much. We're going to Palestine. Okay. Well, that's how treif in the neshama he had. He had a black neshama. He wanted to do good for his brothers, but he had very not Jewish neshama. Uganda's all right, you mean? Yeah.
Did he try first to suggest Israel? Or
no, he wanted Uganda. They said, no way. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how far away from Tahara and Kedusha that man was? He meant something good, but not according to the Torah way. He had a secular approach. We need a country. What's wrong with Uganda? Before Idi Amin. So, this is the kind of neshama the man had. Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. So, Chalom, 162 double, 324, that's Herzl. He was a dreamer. He definitely was a dreamer. Definitely a state came by. Why did God make the state? To test you. And Manasseh, are you going to really believe, really, that's Mashiach? Well, it's been 60, what is that? 48, now 52, 62 years. Not a day of peace, only the one Shabbos. Friday they made the state. Shabbos was Sholem. Sunday they were attacked by 5 nations. And they've been attacked ever since. 48, 55, 67, 73. All these Lebanon wars. Look at this. There can be no Shalom unless Mashiach comes. Because he did have in his heart something to do good to help the Bnei Yisrael. But it was not the Torah way, it was the wrong way, therefore it's failure. And they still have soldiers walking down the streets in Eretz Yisrael. And the Americans had a revolution in 1776, there's no more soldiers or police, no soldiers walking around, the revolution is over. That will continue till Mashiach comes. And Hashem obviously wants that, what they have there. It's not the state of the Jews, it's a Jewish state. But, and a lot of very religious people benefit. And when they have the 2 minutes of silence, Yom Yerushalayim, you have to be quiet and have respect for people who died for you. Greatest respect, however, it's not the right derech. Now let's go and finish this. Lo shishma divrei Rabbi, don't listen to him. Who that dreamer? God is testing you. The das to know do you love Hashem Elokeichem or you love some other culture? With all your intellect, with all your emotion, only follow HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because at the end you're going to have to do it against your will or with your will. Teilechu, to walk in his hashkafa, the concept, the idea. But also tira, fear him. That's your emotions. First your intellect, then your emotion. Es mitzvos of all his mitzvahs watch. That means learning Chumash. V'kola tishmo, we told you that means listen to the voice of the Navi. As nach. V'osa ta'abodo is karbanos, or davening. Today no karbanos. We have tefillah. V'otit bokum, stick to him, do the good gemilas chasadim. That dreamer, that Navi, or the Cholem, you must have to be put to death. Because he spoke against Hashem. That we're finished with that subject. Now we go into, for 2 minutes, another subject called Inyan of a Mesis, a seducer. Ki yasischa achicha, if your brother wants to seduce you to a different religion. Beni mecha, the son of your mother, a half brother even. O bincha, or your son. O bitcha, your daughter. O eshes chekecha, your wife. O re'echa, your friend. Asher kanafshchol, that you love him like your own soul. The saints are secretly saying, let's worship another God. Asher lo yadata, that you never heard about. You and your fathers never heard about this other religion. And from the gods of the Gentiles. Asher tzviva sechem, that's around you. That are very close to you, or maybe even in India. Go to the Buddha, what do you call it, the Guru in India, far away. A lot of Israelis go to the Mideast, to India, go to the guru. Well, the guru, that's mystical, right? Judaism is totally mystical. And it's also from the Mideast. It was founded in Iraq, that's where Rabbi came from. It's very mystical. Why don't you investigate your own? That's the mystical of the most mystical. Mecca, far away from you, Miksei Shemaim, Miksei Haaretz, I can say from the one end of the earth to the other. Even to worship, maybe, or serve the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets. Maybe a sun worshipper. Lo sovelo, don't listen to him when you judge him. Have no rachmanis on him. You have to get rid of him. Lo sove, don't have any rachmanis. Don't listen to him. Lo sishma, love, don't. When he pleads for mercy, don't listen to him. Lo socher derecha, love. Don't have any compassion for him. Lo sachmo, don't give in to any of your compassion. Lo sechas, love, don't cover up. Ki harog tagecha, you have to kill him. The harganu, he wanted to kill you spiritually. Yodcha lithi b'rishona, you the Adam who warned him not to do it, you have to have your hand against him first. The hamiso to kill him. Yadchol on bachronim. If he doesn't die when you push him off skila, then the people throw stones at him, stone him. Skalta b'avonim b'meish, you stone him with stones and he will die. You know why he stoned him with stones? Stones come from the earth. The earth is taking revenge against him. He tried to destroy the earth. That man tried to destroy you off the earth that God created. The earth, he says that we should worship the sun and the moon and the stars instead of God who created the earth. The earth is taking revenge. That's why you stone him. You throw him down and he hits the earth, or you take a stone to throw it on him. The earth is killing him. He wanted to push you away from God, your God. Who took you out of Egypt, the base of honor from the house of slaves. Every Jew should hear about this and see it. How could they hear it and see it? It's on one of the regolim. Chol Hamoed, second day Sukkot, first day Chol Hamoed Sukkot. In Yerushalayim, they public stoning. And this will never be practiced again amongst you. Now there is 4 people that you kill publicly. A masis, a seducer. He's the worst of all. Because when Hashem came to Adam and says, why did you do that chet? He said, the woman talked me into it. Came to the woman, why did you do that, Chava? Said, well, the snake did it. Came to the snake, he didn't ask him anything. He's a masis. The snake didn't even das. He's like a dope pusher. The dope pusher doesn't take any dope. He gets you to do it. That's why he didn't ask the Nachash, why did you do it? When he comes to the masis, the seducer, don't give him any chance to defend himself. He's the worst. The people set up the robbery in a bank. They don't go themselves. They have the schnooks do it. And they get caught and shot down by police. They're the worst, is the masis, seducer. A missionary is a masis. A missionary is a masis. And if they're goyim, we don't care about it. They're Jews, then we're interested in them. We want to talk them out of it because they're the closest possible to become a Baal Tshuva because he's thinking about God. At least he's the thinking person. The other people just are homeless, maybe, who know what they are. But the maces, the missionary, is a maces. He is trying to get him and make him a Baal Tshuva. If not, the worst kind of punishment. No, there's 4 people we kill in public. A maces is killed on Sukkot, Challah, first day Chalamot, but Rabin publicly. So rare, a morer, a son that's 13 to 13 and 3 months, that steals and robs from his father and eats, get drunk on cheap wine and cheap meat. He has a terrible, terrible addiction that first they bring him to Bezdin and then they warn him and then they give him malchus. Eventually, the doctor says he's addicted. He's going to eventually kill to get money, to be a glutton and a drunk. You have to kill him, rob him. Never happened, never could happen. But that's one of the dinim. Next comes the Zoket Mamre, who says that the Bezdin is wrong in their decision and you shouldn't follow the Bezdin. Zoket Mamre, he may be wiser than the Bezdin, but he's not Bezdin. And whatever Bezdin decides, that's the halacha. Even if you were differently, even if you know it better. The Bezdin is the halacha. And he said, don't follow Bezdin. If you believe him, that's anarchy can start. You have to kill him, barab him. At once. You don't wait to Sukkot. Because he's too influential. Then you have Adam Zomimim, people that want you to get killed. They're paid off to say, you're guilty, you stole, you murdered, you killed. And you catch him, the Adam Zomimim, before you punish the person that he spoke against, the litigant, the Baal Din, They take the Eidim Zom and do to the Eidim Zomim what they want to do to them. So you execute them barabim on Sukkot. Then we get to a Navi Sheker. This is what we talked about. A Navi Sheker, never barabim. You know why? He didn't say one word, a Sheker. He's a Navi Sheker because God didn't speak to him. He spoke to his friend, and he took the message of his friend. The Nevuah is not Sheker. The Navi is Sheker. God didn't speak to him. He spoke to his Chaver. And he heard from his Chaver, and he said, and he may believe God spoke to him. The Navi is telling Emes. The Nevuah that the Navi is talking is Sheker. So you don't publicly kill him publicly because he's not a liar. He said to Emes, except he's not the Navi that God spoke to. God Navi spoke to his friend. So you don't do it barabim. A mace is a person that wanted to seduce you, is a bad person. A Soreh, Moreh wanted to destroy you, and eventually he's going to kill people to get the money. A Zokim Mamre goes against authority, breaks up the whole order of things. Eidim Zomim want you to get destroyed just because they're paid off to say false testimony. Every one of these people did something bad. Maces, Soreh, Moreh, Zokim Mamre, Eidim Zomim. The Navi Sheker didn't say a word of a lie. True. Maybe it's going to happen the way he said it. But he's a Navi Sheker. The Nevuah is not Sheker. The Navi Sheker, therefore you kill him, but not barabim. Okay, Rabbi said we're finished our little shir for this week. And we hope we come back again next week for the next Parsha. Remember, coming up this week is Chodesh Elul, Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday. And Chodesh Elul, am I glad I'm not as Sephardi, because they have to get up 5 o'clock in the morning for an hour and a half. We just get up a few days before Rosh Hashanah. A Sephardi once told me, I'm very happy to be a Sephardi in Nisan and in Av. In Nisan because we eat kitnios and you don't. And in Av, we swim in the 9 days. Except not the Shvu Shechalvo. But I don't want to be a Sephardi in Elul. Because 5 o'clock in the morning for a month, woo! I can't take it, he says. I said, well, you see, we have to have some advantages. We can't eat kitnios, and we can't swim the whole 9 days. So we only get up a few days. So let's keep it the way it is. You got yours, we got ours. And Shalom Al Yisrael.